as we await the presentation party. I was out on the pitch both yesterday and earlier this morning, and although it's taken a lot of rain overnight, it is in very good condition indeed. It will be slightly heavy. Well, that was brief, thankfully. And the referee, George Smith, goes to the centre circle. That is with Snelders, the Dutch goalkeeper. Ali McLeod is with me, and quite amused by that.
I think that was unusual. The goalkeeper wanted to get a feel of the ball, and the referee and him had a little bit of struggle. In the end, the goalie didn't get it. Very unusual, that. They usually let the goalie get it just before the game.
Well, in case you did not hear or see the team announcements, let me run down them. Aberdeen, firstly, in goal, of course, the man we've just been talking about, Theo Snelders, and Stuart McKimmie at full-back, along with young David Robertson. Neil Simpson is in midfield, Alec McLeish and Willie Miller, Jim Vett, Robert Corner, David Dodds and Hewitt. That's a team with no less than 9 holders of League Cup medals. And against the background of that huge Rangers support, the Rangers side today, all of these men have been bought into Ibrox. The only players who have yet to win anything at all, John Brown, Kevin Drinkle and Mark Walters. The referee today, as I said, George Smith, who had the cup final as well, Scottish Cup final, rated by many as the top referee in the country. And listening to the discussions before the game, I honestly do not think that the incidents of 2 weeks ago at Pittodrie will bear largely on the minds of these players. I think there's been far too much publicity given to what actually happened, and there's a great responsibility lying on the shoulders of the players. They are not just playing in front of a 75,000 crowd. This game will be seen throughout the world. Scottish football is on a huge stage, and behaviour will certainly count. And so, the curtain almost about to rise on this, the 43rd League Cup final. Rangers starting the match. As I said, the pitch is in immaculate condition. There can be no complaints at all about that. Picked up immediately by Bett. I think you'll find Bett making very interesting runs down that right side. That's a goal kick. Jim Bett, who's always been a very studious player, a thinker in the game, and unfortunately far too many people in the past haven't appreciated the way he's played and his influence on a match. Chris Woods, who did not play, of course, in the game last year. Strong header there by Robert Corner. Aberdeen with very neat possession. Here's Corner. It's a very good run indeed. Well, he certainly had the confidence to have a right go at that Rangers defence. This is the way he drove forward. There wasn't any great strength in the shot, however. I think Chris Woods would love to see that ball nestling in his arms. Free kick to Rangers. There's Willie Miller at the back, steady as ever, great positional sense. Well, the Rangers' big man had gone forward, which left John Brown at the back, and he swept that up very neatly indeed. The usual kind of apprehensive start, and for a man of very great experience like Gary Stevens there, that was Rather unusual mistake, indicative of the pressure. It's very good tackling. Away goes Ferguson. Simpson goes with him, looking for a little bit of support. Ferguson, Ali, is very good at runs from midfield.
I think there was very noticeable that Simpson seemed a little bit hesitant to make a tackle. I think once he makes his first tackle, he's got over the crowd already.
The tackling, sharp. Nobody is being allowed to settle, and for Neil Cooper there. Nostalgic, of course, being back amongst red and white supporters, but playing against them this time. Ball from Ray Wilkins. Stevens. There's Drinkle. Excellent tackle by Willie Miller. Now, Walters. Trying to go for it himself. Referee waving play on. The break by Hewitt. Unconventional, came off the chest, and the referee said that was all right. Here's Ferguson to golf. Was no offside. Drinkle. And there is this time. Well, Drinkle was not in an offside position, but the run forward by McCoist was. We're actually getting a little blink of sunshine, would you believe?
That was instructions from the side there from Rangers. That was instructions to Wilkins to get in onto Simpson. They've decided to go for skill against Simpson. They just moved Ferguson onto corner.
Throw to Aberdeen. Nicholas wanting a 1-2, good tackling. Simpson. McKinney. Offside, linesman with a flag up. Charlie Nicholas, who scored that goal at Pittodrie, loves a big occasion like this, Charles. Won't be affected at all by nerves. Driven forward in this Villa, that great sentinel of Aberdonian football. Dodds, Simpson. We are, of course, seeing two sides who are extremely well organised in defence.
Yes, it must be the longest there's been a game without one foul. There's not been one foul in the game since it started, which really is unusual, in a cup final particularly.
Might be a kind of air of unreality there. Woof. Well, the Rangers defence looked across to the linesman, but David Dodds, when he started his run, was well onside. That was a good decision by the linesman. And the referee deciding that Ali McCoist had backed into the defender. I don't know whether he's holding his wrist or his elbow, or maybe even a displaced finger. Straight to Stevens. Yes, Stevens to Drinkle. Almost went through, no hands. Well, the linesman did not see that. The referee certainly did. There's poor Wally, I suppose you could call him, up in Aberdeen. Right in the centre of the picture, dictating everything. Everything revolves round him. Not such a good free kick, though. Goff. Here's Brown. Plays it wide and curls it in. Walters. Rangers get the corner. Walters himself will take this. Gary Stevens was calling for it, but they're trying that run. There's Brown! And nobody covered Brown. Well, this was an entirely free run into the penalty area. Swung in. Now watch Brown's run forward. Nobody marking him. He was in front of defenders. That's a cardinal sin, Ali.
Yes, and it's very unusual. First time I've seen Aberdeen for really in a big game for a long time, but every player was back in the penalty area there. Everyone, you know. I think at times it's a wee bit too much defensive there.
But some very good tackling in midfield. This could be a danger man, Ian Ferguson, and he's been very closely marked by Connor there. Oh, round it goes. There's Walters. That's not a bad ball. McKinney. He really does put over the most fetching crosses.
Oh,
was not just from the crowd, but from Ali McCoy's there. Corner kick. Look at this delightful little chip of his. Weighted perfectly. And that was all McKinney could do. Walters again. Round. There was no room. Yes, I think Hewitt had been pushing to get or keep possession, and Rangers get the free kick. Ray Wilkins about to take this. We have Terry Butcher almost at the penalty spot. Brown. That looked like a deflection. It was indeed. Rangers turning the screw at the stage with about 10 minutes gone. Now this came to Brown, who was again in the free, just off the top of the head of Alec McLeish. He did the right thing, and that was cruelly deflected. Brown again, and everybody back for Aberdeen. Cooper! Well, the ex-Aberdeen player deciding that if he did it in the previous game, he might as well try from that distance again. He kept his balance, and he didn't lash out at it. He tried to keep it down, but just got under a little bit too much. Butcher. No, whenever Willie Miller misses it, or in reverse McLeish, one or the other always steps in. That's a good combination, Ali.
Yeah, they've been a tremendous partnership. They just started just before I left Aberdeen, and they've been together. They are the backbone of really Scottish football at the moment.
Cooper. Trotter Rangers. McCoy's judged the throw very well. Here's Walters. Stevens, Ferguson. Rangers fanning out Ferguson. Needs a chip across, and Walters! From 3 yards. A really magnificent piece of play by Ferguson here. He decided to take the man on once, twice, and then watch the drive to the wrong side of Walters. Looked like a bad miss, but that was awkward. Goal kick. Good move by Ferguson, Ali.
Oh, that's the ball. That's the most dangerous ball in football. Walters was unfortunate. He was just in a fraction too much. It was a magnificent ball. And at the moment, Rangers are far more adventuresome, throwing far more men forward than Aberdeen.
Nicholas, yard offside. And for all the Rangers' pressure, after 12 minutes, there's still no scoring. That's a free kick.
I think the game so far actually has shown the philosophy of the two managers. The Aberdeen manager is a great believer that if you don't lose goals, you don't lose championships. And to me, Aberdeen have been very defensive today.
Ferguson running into trouble. Wanted to play the ball a bit too much himself. And there's Brown again. John Brown, the definitive utility player. With Dundee, played virtually everywhere, barring goal. He may even have done that. Butcher. It's a little too much for Walters. Well, there's Mark Walters. He's the player that most people coming to any game now watch a piece of entertainment. The goalkeeper making a dreadful blunder. That is a penalty. Drinko brought down. Quite astonishing piece of suicide there by the Aberdeen defence. This is how it came about. Back to the goalkeeper. What a tight ball to give him. And now getting into bother here. Drinko going after it. Ooh, that was very close indeed, but the referee says penalty kick. And so, 14 minutes gone. Harry McCoy's to take the penalty for Rangers. And the referee trying to get the Aberdeen goalkeeper settled. Ball not quite on the spot. Always a nerve-wracking experience for a player at any time, but in the cup final, the Dutch goalkeeper to face Ali McCoy. He's done it. Nothing for Rangers. Total suicide by the Dutch goalkeeper. And this was the clinical way that McCoy decided to put Rangers in front. Ali.
Oh, it was a terrible throw-in, but the goalkeeper made a right mess of it. It was just a tragedy for Aberdeen the way they lost it. But I think the game at the moment, Rangers are by far the better side.
And Rangers wishing to put pressure still on. And there looks as if some of the crowd are spilling out of the terracing. I think it's just a little minor skirmish, but it did catch your eye, the right-hand side terracing. I think some of the further supporters are mixed. I think the police have gone in and tried to separate them. Strong header by Robertson. Well, a good run by Bet. But Brown did that very well. He glided with tremendous ease and wrong-footed Bet, who's a very cunning player, I may say. Not easily taken on like that. Walters brought down.
Right, okay.
I don't know whether it'll be a booking or just a reprimand. Well, the referee, in fact, has his book out. Young lad David Robertson. We were talking about Robertson earlier, Ali. He's a superb young player, but you know, in defence sometimes it can be a little bit rash.
Yeah, well, I think that was a rash tackle. That was the first one in which there's really been any need for the referee. I think it's a wee bit harsh to book him. I think he should just have given him a warning.
But the name is in the book for that tackle there. Free kick to Rangers. Willie Miller. Corner did very well indeed. Dead on that run again on the right. Here's McKimmie. Just touched away by Butcher, who committed himself very early indeed. And I think since that goal, Ali, Aberdeen have realised they've got to come at Rangers a little bit.
Well, there's more men now in the Rangers half than there's been all game. It's about time they started doing it, because you don't win cup final sitting back.
Gary Stevens, bowling instructions there. A lot of shouting goes on the field, of course. Alec McLeish, just in play. Ferguson. And the referee didn't like the tackle. That's a free kick. A little bit of edge creeping in. We do not expect football to be played with carpet slippers. There's got to be commitment at it.
Right, I think initially it was a bit false because both teams were just hanging back. But now with the nitty-gritty, we're getting down to the nitty-gritty and they're getting the tackles in. And that's what football's about.
Corner. Neil Cooper at the back. That's a very good ball. Drew out the Rangers goalkeeper and just above the heads of the central defenders. John Hewitt. Alec McLeish has gone up with Willie Miller. Here we are, Willie Miller, number 6, will come in and they try the short one. Ian Ferguson at the post. Charlie Nicholas. Charlie Nicholas suffering a little bit of toothache this morning when he arrived at the ground. Minutes gone. Aberdeen with the corner kick, and that's the equaliser. Dodds. David Dodds right in position for Aberdeen. A cross ball totally missed by the Rangers defence. This was a corner, and watch the commitment by both the goalkeeper, central defenders, and David Dodds snatches it in. Not an easy chance, I may say. Seemed to come off the thigh, but the old count.
A terrible mistake with the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper came for it, completely missed it by 2 yards, and it hit Dodds in the thigh. A real nightmare start for both goalkeepers. I was going to say...
gives that away. Here's Cooper. Willie Miller did that very well. Really, he loves cup finals. Plays at his very best at Hampden Park, Willie Miller. I think a free kick for the tackle from the rear, and there's no use complaining about that. Free kick to Aberdeen. Here's Hewitt. The other attacking player with him, and a very good tackle by Walters. Wingers not noted for their ability to tackle like that. And Aberdeen have come right out of the shell that was described by Ali as quite unusual in the cup final, and having a right go at Rangers, and it's paid off for them. Dent. Not given time to settle. Here's Drinkle, now Wilkins. Opens it out wide. Neil Cooper. Brown. There's Cooper. Wilkins. Ferguson. Superb play. Walters. Another inviting ball. The goalkeeper didn't come. Oh, Bent. Superb play by Bent. Goff to Ferguson. Walters. Get the free kick for that. It's a little bit harsh, I think. I think Walters made a slight meal of that. And the referee acknowledges it. It's not a free kick. It's a throw. Butcher. Hard in on Nicholas. Just about 25 minutes of the first half gone. It's one each. Much more